Hey, I'm Karch, and I'm an architect at CloudFit Software, and I'm privileged to be the head of our internal software platform as well as our cybersecurity offerings. For me, some of the most fun stuff in my career has been kind of luck or blessing, depending on how you put it. I graduated college with an IT based degree, but then I was in a graduate program that had nothing to do with IT, and one of my previous professors had got me hooked up with a red team group, consultancy group, and a lot of our work we did under the guise of AT&T as a subcontractor. And so because of that, I got blessed to be able to do things like pen test for Activision Blizzard and do their Skylanders application as well as Call of Duty. I was blessed to be able to go in and work on the security of NBC Universal's streaming platform, Peacock, and be one of the first pen testers in there, as well as doing social engineering for NBC. And I got to have a really exciting time of getting a behind the scenes look at doing pen testing for the New York Times. And so those were a couple of the cool customers that we had as repeat customers it was just a blessing, and it was super exciting, and we got to do a lot of good work for them. After that, I decided to take a little bit of a turn into blue team stuff, and I took a job at a local large university. Anyone who's worked in higher ed will tell you that budgets are a little bit tighter, especially when you're talking about a private institution. And so because of that, when I was the technical lead of their IT security program, obviously we had a little less budget than say some commercial and definitely some DoD customers have for accomplishing like results that are just as important and sometimes more important, because with a lot of the customers, when you're talking about higher ed, are kids that are now like in debt for whatever reason, or just starting out their career, and they have less capacity to handle their data being taken or being stolen or their identity being stolen. And so one of the things that I'm most proud of in that position was at one point we built at the time we didn't think of it as big data, but a big data platform for ingesting 1.8 billion security events per month and doing searches and threat intelligence information on those pieces of data and storing them for 30 days so that they were free text searchable for around $1,800 a month. And so that to me is the thing I'm like, man, that was super awesome. And I can't claim, real credit for that. I was more a part of the team than I was the person who made it happen. But those are some of the things that when I look back at my career, I'm most proud of before I came to CloudFit. With CloudFit, there's a lot of things I'm really proud of that, quite frankly, we can't talk about that much because of some of the customers that we're talking about. I know that sounds like a cop-out, and yeah. And as someone who works in the DoD space, I get a lot of people who try and like puff up their experience by saying, well, I can't talk to you about it, or I can't really answer that question. And so I wish I could give you a little bit more detail on it, but that's where a lot of my pride comes from in my career, honestly, is how we've served some of our DoD customers, and then how we're bringing those learnings back to our commercial customers and our defense industrial-based customers that need CMMC compliance.